Hello, it's Frederick from First, and today we're going over 3.3 plastics in the Cambridge IGCSE Design and Technology course. So we have to know about two types of plastics. It is basically thermosetting plastics and thermoforming plastics. And the main difference is that thermoforming plastics, they when heated can return to their original shapes, while thermosetting plastics, once you heat them, they form strong covalent bonds and cannot return to their original shapes essentially. So for the thermoforming plastics that you need to know, nylon, you could find them in your toothbrushes. They have low friction and really good chemical resistance. I mean, you probably don't want something dissolving your toothbrush in your toothpaste, so it is used in toothbrush bristles and also fiber and clothing. And next, you also have to know about low and high density polyethylene. It has really good resistance to chemicals. High density polyethylene is slightly more expensive than low density polyethylene, and they could be used in injection and blow molded bottles. It's basically a process where you essentially have a mold and you take some plastic, maybe low density polyethylene, and you inject some gas into it so it takes the shape of the container. That's essentially what that is. And next you have PET, or polyethylene terephthalate. It is quite hard, stiff, also quite strong, and also doesn't really absorb water, and therefore it is quite suitable for science as it really goes through quite a lot of rain. It is also used in bank cards because it is just strong and you probably don't want it snapping with the NFC chip inside. And next you have polyvinyl chloride. It is quite resistant to chemicals. It has quite good tensile strength, and therefore you use them for medical goods and packaging, and more obviously water pipes, because they really do sustain quite a lot of pressure when there are quite a lot of water demand, and you really have to cram quite a lot of water in there. So that would be good for water pipes. And then you get acrylic. A lot of people think of acrylic as this clear plastic that you use for drawers in your DT projects, but it could be uh, non-transparent and hard, if that makes sense, and it is usually used in bathtubs. It is also available in a range of colors, so it is quite commonly used in bathrooms. And when you hear about polystyrene, you probably think of food packaging uh, and takeaways, and that is right. It is quite lightweight, but also has quite good impact resistance because it is not really dense, so it can absorb impact quite well. So it is used in food packaging mainly. And you also got polypropylene, which is quite flexible, resistant to stress, and therefore it is used in chemical containers. And it allows you use ABS, which is quite durable, weather resistant, and it is also quite rubber light, so you can use them for boathouse or casing for garden tools. And you also get some thermoplastics, and first you get melamine formaldehyde. It is quite clear, hard, also quite chemical resistant, so it is used for electrical plugs and switches, since it protects the internals and is basically an insulator. And you get urea formaldehyde, which has quite tensile strength and surface hardness, so it can really sustain quite a lot of wear and tear from daily use of pressing it because it has good surface hardness. And you get phenylformaldehyde. I like to think of it as like phenolphthalein. So phenylformaldehyde, it has quite good thermal stability, and it is used in chemistry labs to store chemicals or printed circuit boards uh, to basically sustain its temperature and not affect GPU's performance. And you also get these polyester resins, which is quite cheap, quite frankly, and it's also quite stable to chemicals or mechanical factors. So it is commonly used in car body panels of less expensive cars. And you also got epoxy resin, which is basically an adhesive usually used in printed circuit boards, which for insulated parts because it has high adhesive strength to keep stuff together, but it's also quite a good electrical insulator.